However, there is no reason to worry. Originally, investigators wanted the University of London to come clean about its collusion with TAIPEI. However, from those efforts at least, we are now sure that the university is an accomplice. Knowing exactly who your opponent isn't a bad thing. Now that we have confirmed that the ICO has chosen to stand with the wrongdoers, we know they will only stand in our way. We now know that we only have to keep drilling the ICO. Sooner or later, someone in there will say something wrong and it will all come crashing down. Dr. Huan Si-lin published a joint statement in February alleging the London University's involvement in playing cover-up for Tsai Ing-wen. He sent the statement to University of London Vice-Chancellor Wendy Thompson, LSE Director Baroness Minosh Shafiq, and of course the ICO. Naturally, we had a lawyer at the ready to follow up with the institutions. Any hope we harbored that the ICO will come forward and admit its mistakes has dissipated. However, the ICO has proven helpful. Through them, we learned on November 26, 2021, that LSE does not have TAI's Viva records. That was instrumental in moving the investigation forward. The ICO also gave us the file dump from the University of London, which proved the school was helping TAI's cover-up. The ICO can't respond to questions about Tsai Ing-wen head-on. When the ICO couldn't offer any more insight in response to our inquiries, we turned elsewhere. On April 19th, a high-ranking information officer, Joanne Wright, responded to us. Wright said up front that she had not handled this case before, but she also said that she agreed with the ICO's decision up until that point. The interesting thing is, Wright said that if we were unhappy with her decision, the applicant could appeal to the ICO. That's interesting. If we're unhappy with the ICO's decision, then we have to appeal to the ICO. Won't this have us running in circles? If we're unhappy with an ICO ruling, then the next step should be to go to the tribunal. Yet the ICO doesn't tell us that and wants us to appeal to itself. Is the ICO telling us this because it's afraid of this case going to tribunal? Is the ICO worried that we'll unravel its June 11, 2020 ruling? You'll remember that Michael Richardson took the ICO to tribunal once. The ICO dragged its feet, making the issue not about the matter at hand. Instead, the ICO wanted to talk about nationality while stalling to give its plea report. The ICO went so far as to tell the tribunal that it was the only authority in the UK that could decide what information could be disclosed. It's clear the ICO is afraid of the tribunal. The only reason why LSE admitted it didn't have Tsai Ing-wen's Viva report is because we were once again about to take the ICO to tribunal. When investigators take the ICO to tribunal, anything can happen. In one case, the judge agreed that it was unlikely that Tsai's thesis disappeared. However, in the end, the tribunal ruled with the ICO, saying the University of London didn't have to reveal Tsai's examiners. In another case, the tribunal outright accepted the ICO's ruling and sided with it. Investigators are 0-2 when it comes to tribunal cases. However, when Richardson said he wanted to appeal his tribunal case, opponents in Taiwan got nervous. During that time, a lot of misinformation started circulating on Taiwan's internet. The goal of that false information was to weaken Richardson's resolve to appeal. However, things are going ahead as planned. The success of Shiwei-Tren's Viva inquiry gave our case in tribunal all new direction. This is all thanks to our meticulous investigators. On April 25, 2022, something shocking came to our attention. American independent journalist Michael Richardson was notified that the UK's administrative courts have looked at his appeal, and his case has drawn Judge Mark West. The courts told Richardson that it scheduled an online hour-long pretrial hearing for the case. Richardson's case focuses on revealing TAI's examiners. Mark West graduated from Cambridge University and is a seasoned lawyer. Having him handle a case is sure to rattle Taiwan's presidential office. This trial will be different from the one in the first-tier tribunal. We have much evidence to counter the ICO's claims. Newly unearthed evidence will bring this scandal to light. This includes the LSE's counsel's claim that it denied holding Tsai Ing-wen's Viva reports on November 26, 2021. Tribunal Judge Hazel Oliver said on December 18, 2021 that they believe the school's explanation that Tsai's thesis was lost is untrue. Susie Merriweather denied that the University of London had information on Tsai Ing-wen on January 11, 2022, which is contrary to what Kit Good claimed. And finally, the successful Freedom of Information Act request that saw Shiwei-Tren's examiners and Viva date revealed on April 10, 2022. We will hold our heads high as we go into this pretrial hearing. The offenders are the ones that should have reason to worry. Remember, in their panic, the wrongdoers had LSE's Kevin Haynes throw out Michael Elliott and Leonard H. Lee's names as Tsai's examiners. Those two couldn't have overseen Tsai's Viva. Then Tsai's lawyer Lien Yuanlong changed Tsai's Viva date to October 17, 1983, and added a third examiner name, Richard Dale. We don't need experts, we need calm and reasonable minds. If Tsai's Viva really did take place, then LSE and the University of London would have told us who her examiners were long ago. Why is something so simple a matter of personal information? Furthermore, even if it is personal information, why won't Tsai Ing-wen authorize the information's publication? It seems that ThesisGate has taken a backseat to the war in Ukraine and the pandemic in 2022. However, that doesn't mean we're not making moves. There are two more tribunal cases that are slowly making progress. This upcoming pretrial hearing is just one breakthrough of many to come. Many investigators are worried that the UK courts will also make this about politics. Mark West might hand us an unfavorable outcome. However, so long as we don't give up, the other side can never win. The tribunal is not our investigators' only course of action. As the UK prepares to roll back its lockdown restrictions, our investigative team is ready to make its next move. Coincidentally, while the UK tribunal brews, courts in Taiwan have been putting on a witch hunt for Dr. Dennis Pang. After investigators lost Richardson's first tribunal case, Taiwan's courts went quiet, almost as if they didn't see a need to give Dr. Peng a hard time. Now, as court proceedings in the UK start up again, Dr. Peng's case against Judge Zhang Yonghui was suddenly issued a court date of June 11, 2022. The subpoena for that case says that both sides must provide a plea within 20 days. It also said that Dr. Peng had to show up to court, otherwise the court would give a default judgment. Defendant Zhang Yonghui seems ready, if not eager, to meet in court for a round of debate. Aside from the University of London's latest statements, if Judge Zhang familiarized herself with the email chains published on whatdotheyknow.com, she'd know Tsai's thesis doesn't exist. Anything about Tsai's thesis and where it is now comes from pure speculation and hearsay. The only people who can attest to a true thesis would be Tsai's examiners. However, we all know what Tsai is getting at. Her propaganda machine is losing steam. The truth is in London, while the revolution will be in Taiwan. This is the darkness before the dawn. Let us all look forward to the future.
我们要告诉大家，我们有优惠，我们中天的网友哦，这些东西都可以在我们快点购网站上头来购买。现在有3种不同的好康组合，购买的时候呢，不要忘记我们有非常多的这个折扣代码可以给大家来输入，可以享有一些优惠好康。